you can use the very same set of skills in other areas, whether it's a business setting or business networking event. Hello everyone, this is Darren here, and before we start this video, we want to take this opportunity to wish everyone Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri and to wish everyone to have great health, great happiness and great prosperity. Now in this particular video, I'd like to share with you now what happens when you are in a festive, sort of celebratory mood and you are doing house visiting and you meet relatives that you have not met for quite a period of time. How do you exactly start small talk? How do you start the conversation and then later on sustain the conversation? Now, the art of making small talk is not just suitable for festive occasion. You can use the very same set of skills in other areas, whether it's a business setting or business networking event. Now, here are 3 tips on how you can start and ignite the conversation with someone that perhaps you have not met for quite some time. Tip number 1 is to start with open-ended questions. Now, what do we mean by open-ended questions? Open-ended questions are questions that start with the interrogative pronouns. Basically, your 5W and 1H. Now, what are the 5Ws and 1H? Your who, what, when, where, why, and how. Anytime you start a question with these 5W, 1H, automatically you make it into an open-ended question. So when you see someone or when you meet an individual at an event, you can say, oh, what made you join this particular event? What do you think about this particular event? Now, these are examples which you can start the conversation, sample questions that you can start the conversation. Instead of close-ended questions where you say that, do you think these goodies are good? The answer will just be yes or no. So instead of starting with are you, is, putting the conclusion in front, start with open-ended questions. Tip number 2 is to try and start with simple disclosures. That means instead of asking about political situations or socio-economic issues, start with easy to commit, simple disclosure kind of questions. Talk about what the person is doing right now. Ask about their hobbies and interests. Find out about what's something that this particular individual is up to, perhaps for the past few days, perhaps for the past few years. You can even ask about the event or the occasion itself. Like for instance, how did you prepare for this particular festive celebration? Now, tip number 3, what you can then do is to ask the person for his or her opinion about a particular issue. Now, it need not be a very sensitive issue, but you can still ask the person for his or her opinion. For example, there's going to be an increase in price for a particular food item. We can ask the person about, hey, what do you think about this increase in price? Or if there's a new bubble tea shop that's around the area, or this new bubble tea shop that is really popular right now, you can ask the person for the opinion. What do you think in general? So these kind of opinion-based questions can also help you better understand the person's values, better understand the person's interests and ideas and thoughts as well. So with that, these 3 tips are going to be very helpful to help you start and ignite the conversation.